Welcome back to our channel where we provide updates and undisclosed narratives on Catherine, Princess of Wales and her royal family. We are excited to share the following news: emergency flight, Prince Harry returns to UK amidst palace strip order, panic as William takes control. As a result of the crisis, shockwaves have been thrown through the royal establishment, and a firestorm of supposition has been created across the Atlantic. It has been reported that Prince Harry is reportedly using an emergency aircraft to go to the United Kingdom. During this tour, there will not be any diplomatic visits or happy family reunions. Both of these events are not going to take place. As a result of the rumors that a strip order is about to be issued, which is a decisive action coordinated by Buckingham Palace to permanently remove the royal titles held by Harry, Meghan Markle, and their children, the Duke of Sussex is apparently making a frantic last-ditch effort to go to London. According to sources of a high level, this is the case. Beyond the walls of the royal palace, a revolution that is both quiet and horrific is taking place at the same time as the king is battling an illness and making the choice to resign away from his public obligations. Reports indicate that Prince William, who is both the heir to the throne and the Prince of Wales, has essentially inherited control of the strategic direction that the monarchy is aiming to pursue. This occurs since Prince William is also the Prince of Wales. In order to preserve the institution, he is ready to sever all ties with the Sussexes, which would effectively mean removing their royal name off the map. In addition to being utterly devoid of any tenderness, his aim is crystal clear and frigid. The desperate effort to flee across the Atlantic Ocean in a stealthy manner. According to reports, Prince Harry is now striving to beat a clock that is rapidly ticking down as he is in the cabin of a private aircraft which is located at a great height over the Atlantic Ocean. There is a situation in Montecito that is replete with full and utter horror, according to many sources who are close to the Sussex camp. Having come to the realization that the monarchy is not only considering a separation, but is also actively working to deprive them of their position, Harry and Meghan are reportedly shaking in their boots as a result of their realization. They are not battling for their physical lives, rather they are fighting for the continuation of their identity, their brand, and their history. This flight is a metaphor for the fight that they are doing in order to survive. Assuming that their titles were birthrights and untouchable assets that could coexist with their commercial ventures in the United States, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been functioning under this premise for a number of years. This assumption has allowed them to be successful in several enterprises. It has become abundantly evident that the assumption was improper. An individual who is close to Buckingham Palace said that the moment he sensed the threat was getting closer, he immediately boarded an aircraft. Harry is aware that his father, King Charles, has always led with his heart, but the new administration that is working under William functions with surgical precision. At this point, there is no longer any space for bargaining. The organization is now under the leadership of William, the unassuming successor. Specifically, the state of health of King Charles III is the driving force behind this seismic transformation. Insiders inside the gates of the palace see the king's cancer diagnosis as a shift of power, despite the fact that the rest of the world regards it as a problem with his health. Many people are referring to it as the quiet succession. As Prince Charles concentrates on his treatment and recuperation, Prince William has assumed the role of de facto ruler of the kingdom until Charles returns. Taking complete charge of the family's public image and long-term survival plan is the most important thing he is doing right now. He is also managing diplomatic briefings and organizing strategy sessions. Individuals who have had the opportunity to collaborate with the Prince of Wales have described a leadership style that is very unlike that of his father. William is contrasted with Charles, who is characterized as being ice-cold and efficient. Charles is perceived as being philosophical and forgiving. An experienced royal assistant made the observation that William is prepared to take off a leg in order to preserve the body. And if it is necessary to purify the House of Windsor, he is prepared to give up the titles of his brother, his sister-in-law, and even his niece and nephew. He is willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish this. It is time to stop, and Harry and Meghan are well aware of this fact. The monarchy is no longer only a family as far as William is concerned, rather it is a brand. As is the case with every multinational organization that is experiencing a crisis of reputation, the brand needs stringent damage control. According to reports, the Prince of Wales does not consider the Sussexes to be members of the family who have been mistreated, but rather to be liabilities. They are walking public relations catastrophes whose explosive interviews, tell-all books, and streaming agreements have been a source of damage to the reputation of the Crown for an excessive amount of time. The fall of sentimentality as a concept. As a result of King Charles's maternal sympathy, Harry remained in the royal image for a longer period of time than many courtiers had recommended. The principal shield that has been preventing the Sussexes from facing complete exile has been the king's desire for a reconciliation. However, seeing as how William is now in charge, that shield has completely dissipated. According to the insider, William's tolerance has entirely run out, and they proceeded. He does not regard the monarchy to be a philanthropic organization for corrupt royals, the person said. At the moment, he is cleaning the house. Since the crown, whether it be symbolic or physical, is now resting on his head, he will not hesitate to remove anybody who is bringing the royal machine to its knees. This includes anyone who is bringing the crown down. The name Harry is now at the very top of that list, which is another point of interest. A number of sources indicate that before boarding his plane, Harry expressed a fervent desire for a private meeting with both his father and his brother. Having a talk with them on a man-to-man level was his attempt to appeal to the familial bonds that they shared. When they answered to the inquiry, the palace was eerily silent. It was a completely silent response. Not only did there not seem to be any recognition, but there was also no reaction or polite decline. When it comes to the intricate nature of royal etiquette, silence is not an indication of disinterest. Rather, it is a show of the power that a person has. Clearly, this demonstrates that there has been a significant shift in the power dynamic that has taken place. After careful consideration, the palace has determined that it is not essential to offer an explanation to the Duke of Sussex at this time. William's staff has been working behind the scenes for certain months to plan this move, which they have been bundling under the phrase royal modernization. The approach that is well known as the strip order has been under development for quite some time. They have been working on this program behind the pretense of royal modernization, which is their official name. In point of fact, the concept is rapidly gaining a significant degree of support among those who are in positions of authority. According to the sources, the strategy is supposed to be two-pronged and is concentrated on the implementation of precedent in a hard manner. This is the method that is said to be taken. To get things started, the palace plans to address the Prince Andrew issue in a manner that is both public and decisive. The initial goal is to do this. There are already plans in place to have Parliament deprive the Duke of York of all of the titles and privileges that he still has. These preparations are already in place as a consequence of the arguments that have taken place in the past. Following the establishment of the legal and legislative precedent by removing Andrew from his post, the second step will consist of the covert application of the same procedure to Harry and Meghan during the second phase. and someone who is knowledgeable in constitutional law made the following observation: "It is a fantastic approach, even if it is a brutal one." William is able to affirm that he is merely imposing a standard of ethical conduct on the monarchy by using Andrew as the battering ram in his argument. It is not going to look as if he is intending to get revenge on his brother. Rather, it is going to appear as though he is trying to improve the processes. On the other hand, there is no way to refute the fact that the Windsors are the ultimate desired outcome. Through the use of this tactic, the loss of titles is portrayed not as a disagreement between members of the same family, but rather as a vital restructuring of a modern institution. One of the visions that this vision gives is that of a monarchy that is streamlined, responsible, and devoid of emotional baggage. The new guideline states that Harry and Meghan are regarded to be incompatible with the dignity of the crown because of their contracts with Netflix and their admissions on Oprah. This is because of the fact that they have both made statements on the show. In spite of the fact that the Queen had issued a warning, the tension that is now exploding in London has its roots in the past, stretching back to the time of the late Queen Elizabeth II. Since then, it has been building up to its current state. When the Queen died away, she purportedly left specific warnings concerning the conduct of the Sussexes. However, these warnings were utterly ignored. Those who are familiar with the matter have said that they have information on the scenario. There have been allegations that Her Majesty has given Meghan Markle the instruction to never utilize her royal title for the purpose of generating a profit from a commercial endeavor. It is not possible for individuals to benefit from the monarchy. Rather, the monarchy is a route through which individuals may profit for themselves. Despite this, the Sussexes have built a vast commercial empire since their departure, which is founded on the fact that they are members of the royal family. From the Archetypes podcast to the Harry and Meghan docuseries that is now airing on Netflix, and even the cover of Harry's book, Spare the Royal Connection, has been the selling point for everything from the former to the latter. The situation reached a boiling point as a result of recent reports over Meghan's new business venture, which was known as American Riviera Orchard, as well as rumors regarding the possibility of a cosmetics line. Teasers that featured the Duchess of Cambridge in polished trailers and implicitly capitalized on her royal charm to promote lifestyle things caused shockwaves to spread across royal circles around the world. One of the participants made the observation that this was more than simply a desire for William. Rather, it was a revolution. Meghan is practically constructing a Hollywood empire based on the same persona that she indicated she wanted to avoid, the insider noted. Meghan says she had the intention of avoiding the role. Despite the fact that she is redefining herself as a global visionary, the palace is of the view that she is engaging in behavior that is exploitative as a result of her participation in it. As a result of the fact that the late Queen made it quite apparent during her reign it is completely impossible to sell the crown. Her behavior is the same regardless of whether or not Meghan wants to carry out the activity in issue. She is behaving in this way. According to the consensus of the general population, there is a clear indication of guilt. Given the circumstances, it would seem that the people of the United Kingdom have given William the mandate that he needs in order to go on with this punitive course of action. The findings of a recent survey that was conducted by YouGov revealed findings that were so alarming to Buckingham Palace that they were like a thunderclap. More than half of the people in the United Kingdom believe that Meghan Markle poses a greater threat to the monarchy than Prince Andrew does. This particular survey was conducted by YouGov. Because the use of this statistic is of such crucial value, it is impossible to overestimate the significance of its significance. Prince Andrew is now embroiled in one of the most heinous scandals that has taken place in recent times. This controversy is a direct result of his links with Jeffrey Epstein, a sexual offender who has been convicted of a crime. It is a dismal indictment on the Sussex brand in the United Kingdom that a former actress and Duchess of Sussex is viewed as being more destructive to the institution than Andrew at this point in time. During the election, the study in question serves as the smoking gun for William, according to an analyst who specializes in topics pertaining to the royal family. Earlier, he had conveyed to his father the notion that the patience of the general population was diminishing, and the facts seemed to support this assertion. In addition, he had conveyed to his father the fact that the period was rather lengthy. In order to evaluate whether or not the monarchy may be deemed legitimate, it is necessary to ascertain the general agreement of the people. They are dragging their feet in an effort to undermine their credibility, and Harry and Meghan are at the forefront of this movement. William's study into the facts allegedly resulted in his determination being even more firm, according to the sources. It was the results of the ballot that gave him the go-ahead. The people had expressed their desires, and they were loyal to the crown rather than to the Sussexes' family. Sources claim that he communicated to his team that he wants it handled. As a consequence of the outcome of the vote, he granted him permission. Despite the fact that Meghan's team in California may have ignored the results as a consequence of media bias, the palace saw the data as an indication that the consumer had lost trust in the things that Harry and Meghan were selling. This was the interpretation of the data by the palace. An investigation of the reasons behind the failure of the Sussex brand in the market. While the palace is extending its area of influence, it seems that the Sussex Empire in the United States is exhibiting signs of waning. This is happening at the same time. After the abrupt termination of the podcast arrangement that Meghan Markle and her husband had with Spotify, an official at the company made the controversial statement that they were grifters. This remark caused a lot of controversy. According to the opinions of a few experts who are familiar with the matter, the Meghan effect could be on the decline. Even though she continues to get distinctions, the most recent of which were 2 signal honors, this is the situation that she finds herself in. One of the people who has worked with her in the past made the observation that she does not want the facts. She just requires believing in everything. There is a misleading appearance of achievement that is created by each and every camera flash and Instagram post that has been tastefully edited. On the other side, the gloss conceals the fact that the substance is insufficient. There have been rumors that the palace is getting ready to use this downturn as a weapon. They would lose the appearance of legitimacy, which is what keeps the pair marketable, if they were to remove their titles from their hands. This would cause them to lose marketability over time. They are reduced to nothing more than Harry and Meghan Windsor, 2 celebrities amid a sea of Hollywood royalty, as a result of the lack of the Duke and Duchess style of dress. Because they lack the special selling element that enables them to demand license fees in the millions of dollars, they are unable to do so. The reality that Harry experiences when he is alone at home. As his plane comes closer and closer to London, it would seem that Prince Harry is the kind of person who is experiencing the brunt of the consequences that are a direct result of his conduct. According to the sources, the freedom that he desired in California has turned into a kind of isolation due to the fact that he has moved there. The spot known as Montecito Paradise, which is famous for its waves and sunshine, has been transformed into a place where one may relax and unwind in relative tranquility. Those who are close to the Duke have referred to him as lost, restless, and haunted with sadness. He is deficient in a feeling of identity as a result of the fact that he does not have any royal obligations or military titles. Furthermore, he is no longer seen as the army prince, in addition to the fact that he is no longer thought to be a Hollywood heavyweight. He is drifting between universes, says a reliable source when asked about him. As a result of the fierce resistance that we observed during the interview with Oprah, despair has taken the place of that. Despite the fact that he is well aware of the fact that he is a contributor to the whirlwind that has engulfed Meghan, he has a huge motivation to protect her. When Harry ultimately makes his way back to the fortress, he will find that it has already made a decision on his future. The gates may open for him physically, but emotionally they will stay locked. It is conceivable that the gates may open with him. In light of the fact that he is now a potential threat, he is no longer the cherished younger brother that he was in the past. The king is not powerful enough to fight for peace, despite the fact that he has a deep desire for it. The urge to exercise control is something that the heir has, and he is strong enough to be able to embrace it. What does the future hold for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle at this point in their relationship? There is no way that the stakes of this trip could possibly be higher at this moment in time. In the event that William's plan is successful, the whole world will be able to witness the full and total collapse of the royal position of the Sussex family. It is impossible to imagine Princess Lilibet existing in the absence of Prince Archie, Princess Lilibet, and the Duke and Duchess of the realm. They would be subject to the status that has defined their existence up to this point, and they would be regarded as private individuals. If anything like this were to happen, their brand would be damaged beyond repair, and it would be impossible to recover from the damage. Those who possess the titles have access security and an air of exclusivity as a result of their possession. In the event that they are absent, the Sussex Empire will start to disintegrate. However, if Harry is able to discover a means to return to the throne, it would need the deepest display of humility since Edward VIII abdicated his crown. This would be the challenge that Harry would face. These are the terms of surrender that he would be compelled to accept, and they are those that are unconditional and without any reservations. The expert on royal affairs arrived at the conclusion that if William were to emerge victorious, the running of the monarchy would become more efficient, more structured, and more successful than it has ever been before. When Prince Harry arrives in London, he is confronted with a royal court that has experienced substantial changes. This is a surprising experience for him. Second chances are no longer an option. The time for them has passed. It is now the beginning of the time known as the quiet succession. And in this new society, even royalty is unable to shield themselves from the consequences of their actions. When you subscribe to our feed, you will get more frequent updates on this breaking news issue than you would otherwise receive. In the comments section, I would appreciate it if you could share your thoughts on the following question. Have you reached the point where you think the palace has gone too far, regardless of whether or not you agree with William's strip order?